I'm going to be checking the heads on this V8. So far so good. I've given them a clean with Easy Off. That's right, Easy Off. I think in UK and Europe it's Mr. Muscle or somebody like that, I don't know. Just be careful of it. Don't leave it on too long, and it's recommended a hot power wash to get it off. As you can see, no corrosion. Top marks. Now, it has cleaned up remarkably well. There is still a few little bits and pieces of garbage in there. Look what I just found in the water jacket. Just dirt. Anyway, we'll clean all that out later. You can see there's a, well, can you see? There's a bit of muck in there. We'll get that out. Because what we're going to do today is check this head. Now, how to do it, how I do it, is quite easy. Oh, I was going to say, look how nice and, well, can you see? Oh yeah, come here, where have you gone? Here. Look how clean these exhaust ports have come, because I could easily get me squirty into there, but they've come out beautiful. I didn't even use a brush or anything. Easy Off. Did I mention Easy Off? Anyway, first things we do when we get these heads, check if they're straight. Now, maybe it's a cop-out, I don't know, but I'm using a piece of brand new, well, it was brand new, extruded aluminium square, and it's very, very good. It's I don't know what the length is, it's deviation over a metre, but when you're checking heads, I put it on so the diagonals at the bottom, and I get a light and shine it underneath. And now if the light doesn't, you can see there, look, if the light doesn't shine, you've obviously got, you know, if it was like that you'd have a great big gap, but we've got nothing. And that's even closer than using your feeler gauges. Your feeler gauges are good if you have got a warp, and then you can see how much you can take off the head. But if it's warped, the head, then simply I'd just take it down to the machine shop and let them worry about it. But I've got this habit now of, when we've done the heads, to cut the seats back as well, the same amount that you've taken off the heads, especially with TDIs, because you can resalvage TDI heads, even though they say you can't in the book. You just cut the seats back. Now, so like I say, this came up remarkably clean. All the water jacket around here is quite good. Same here. If there's any corrosion in there, we're a bit lost. We'll have to fix it. So what we're going to do, we're quite happy with the straightness. Both heads came out nice, and like I tried to explain on the video, maybe you never got it, when you tighten the heads off, it goes in a pattern. Wait a minute, how's it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright? When you take it off, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sort of thing. You work, so taking the head off, you work in the middle. If not, it'll warp. Just be wary of that. So, another things we're going to check, where the gasket goes here is absolutely perfect. You know, where it goes around. You can see an impression of the old gasket, but it hasn't cut in. There's no blow-by from the exhaust that goes into the exterior. They're perfect. Now, got to get the valves out. Let's get some tools. These V8 heads are particularly naughty because the valves aren't square to the face, they're slightly off. So that means putting it on a drill press like I do with the TDI heads is kind of difficult. So what we're going to do, we use the old clamp to take them off, the valve extractor. First of all, before we do that, I'm just going to give the hammer a bit of a wipe off, because yesterday I was doing the tappets and we had caustic everywhere, so get rid of all that muck. There we go. And we're going to give the valves the caps just a little tap, not on the valve itself, on the side. What this is going to do is loosen the collets a little bit. So now we're going to turn the head so it's sort of like this, but it's unbalanced. Fortunately, I was having a tidy off on my shelves the other day, and I found a mini, I think that's a rear exhaust mounting. Bloody hell, I've had that years, but seems to be perfect for that job. So, taking the valve out, easy peasy, clamp it, and then the little collets, those little things will come out. Thus, if you see what I mean. Let's have a little zoomy. Alright, so let's get our tool here. So we've clamped that. This is the only thing I use this for, V8, so it's already preset. Take that out. And now we can check the guides. They are superb. They are lovely. We'll check the condition of the seats and the valves. They're a bit pooey, I must admit. They could just see better days. So I think what I might just do, treat them up a bit, is run them through the bead blaster, not the sand blaster, the bead blaster, and see if we can polish them up. And by polishing them through the bead blaster, we won't damage the seats. You know, some people put them on drill presses and turn them like this, but that's a pain. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all that, take all those valves out, and we're going to keep them in order. Alright. Now also we can do the same in here. We can clean in the seats. I might just treat this and whack it through the bead blaster as well once all the grease is off. The one thing the bead blaster doesn't like is grease, but we can do that and clean off these ports, making sure that everything is decarboned first, if you see what I mean. I'll explain when we get this stripped down. Right, let's get on with that. So with the head cleaned up, time to check bits and pieces out. Now I've blown out all the threads, everything's been blown out, and then it'll go in the parts washer. We'll wash it out and rinse any remaining muck out. So what we're doing now is we're checking the valve spring lengths, and in the book it says 48.3. Well, these are all 49.2, so I can't see any point in replacing them really. In fact, I'm not going to replace them, bugger it. So the next thing is I've cleaned up the valves in the blaster. They've come up really nice. No pitting whatsoever. Good news. It's getting so good that something's going to go wrong. Yeah. Now, hopefully on the shelf, if I have, I've probably got some guide seals. Now, I've taken these off. They took a bit of getting off, and the rubber is quite hard, so it was a good call to take the head off and remove it. Like I said, these Rover V8s don't really suffer from burning oil through valves. It's not like in their nature, because the way the head is fitted to the block, oil doesn't really get down into the valves. It's not like a TDI where it's sat vertically and dropping down the valve. So the next thing is to get rid of all these seals, get rid of bits we don't need, and then we're going to clean up the springs and clean up the caps. And what we're going to do, because those are steel, we're just going to bung them in a bit of in a cup full of Easy Off again, rinse them out, and that'll be done. So let me go and see if I can find some seals. We'll clean this off, wash it all off, and that's that head just about done. Well, we're going to cut the seats. I'll show you how we do that. Having blown all the threads and the oil ways and things like that out with the airline, before we actually put this through the parts washer, it's a good idea to do the valves, and I've cleaned these up. They've come up quite nice. You can see there, look, it's looks kind of nice. I actually put it through the bead blaster, and then I put it through a wire brush on the grinder, and just to see if there's any imperfections. But I don't know if you can see there. They're really, really nice, and they fit nicely in the guides, if you see what I mean. Nice, just the right amount of play. You don't want them too tight, you don't want them too slack. Now, on 1 or 2 I've noticed you do have a problem at this end, Sometimes with the collets inside, you'd get a little tiny burr on the, sometimes on the top of the valve. Not much, but what you do is instead of running off to your grinder, you just get a stone, like a sharpening stone, and just run them across and take that burr off. You don't. It doesn't need much, but they want to go through that. They want to go through the guide. Nice. Now, I don't put oil on at this stage because it makes too much of a resistance, and my old sucker here is, well, sucked. It doesn't work no more. I don't do much with valves, you see. But as you can see with this, like there it was before, and this is it after cleaning. I haven't spent anything on it yet, which is a good thing. This is what we want to do. The idea about this is to rebuild this V8 on a budget. I mean, yes, you can buy all the parts, and yes, you can replace everything, but if everything's alright already, why buy Chinese parts to put on? Doesn't make any sense, does it? You can reuse these. Now, if there's any damage, naturally, repair it. But as far as I'm concerned, these heads are really, really good. Yeah. So let's while I'm in a world of my own, let's take the valve out. We're going to put a little bit of fine compound on there, fine cutting paste. I'll put it on my fingers and everywhere. Like that, just nice and even Stevens. No oil on the shaft, on the guide. Dance it around so it's nice and even. Lift and separate. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah. And you'll hear the noise, the grinding. It starts to go quiet, and that's because there's no more paste on there to grind. You just keep doing that until there's no more noise. Just lift it, turn it. Oh, damn, I wish I had better ones than this. These are awful. And then we'll take it out and we'll clean it up. You can see there I had to put a hose clip around the end of the rubber because the rubbers have got that knackered. I must have had them 8 to 10 years. So what we're looking for, and again, paper towel, so we're not contaminating everything. We throw this paper towel away. What we're looking for is a nice grey even band all the way around there, no pits, nothing. I'm happy with that seat. Let's have a clean up of here. Yeah, that's looking nice. Now, just as a double check, pop him back in, and with your sucker, with it dry, rub it down, lift it out, and there again you can see that nice band, uneven, the nice even band all the way around that grey bit. You see, in silver, grey, silver. That's what you're looking for. There's no point going mental and wild doing valves. If they're pitted, take them down to your machine shop and get them cut. That's the only thing I can do. You cannot get deep pitting out with grinding paste. Well, you can, but you're going to be there forever. And don't be tempted to put a drill on the ends and just pull them through like we used to do. Because what it does is it makes rings in your valve seats, and that's not good. Now, so I'm going to get on with that. I found out that I've got no valve stem seals, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the other head today, and then continue just cleaning parts up. That's the only thing we can do. Alright, so I'll have to stop this video now until we get some parts, and then we can assemble the valve springs and things like that, because there's nothing we can do. The valves all turned out nice after the brake cleaner. I have no problems there. But I might just pop them on temporarily so they're all on the same place, and then take them off again and put the guides on it, because it's no big deal, but it's better. I'd like to keep everything in the same order. It's just a thing I've got. Alright, So we'll catch you in the next video when we're going to put this back together again.